Bang, bang. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are really excited about this interview. I really enjoyed it. I think you will as well. But before we get into that, make sure that you like this video so that more people on YouTube can find it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And don't forget that BlockFi is the sponsor today. They've got 3 products you can buy and sell crypto on their crypto exchange. You can deposit crypto and earn up to 8.6% APY in an interest-bearing account, or you can deposit crypto and take out a US dollar loan against your crypto collateral. You can use the description right here, or you can go to blockfi.com/pomp to learn more. All right, let's get into this episode. I hope you guys enjoy this one. All right, guys, bang, bang. I've got Annabelle here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, thanks for having me.
For sure. You were sitting on the other side of the world in China right now, and you've had a very kind of unique background in that you worked in the legacy world and now work in crypto. Walk us through just where'd you grow up? How did you get into finance originally? And then why transition to crypto industry?
Sure. So hi, everyone. My name is Annabelle Huang, and I'm a partner at Amber Group. So a little bit about my background. I was born and raised in China, then went to the States for college. So I went to Carnegie Mellon and studied math and finance. And, just went into the traditional finance world because that was what makes the most sense given my background. And then I did FX structuring in New York for Deutsche Bank and then at Nomura for a number of years. And that really gave me insight into how traditional markets work. And in FX, the trading style, and got to know a lot of the top institutional clients on the back of it as well. But after a few years, I just felt like, maybe, I could spend another 10 years being on the same trading floor, doing kind of similar deals. But what else, or where is growth? And I've always been interested in crypto, or Bitcoin, actually. From when I was in college, a lot of my computer science friends were telling me, oh my gosh, look at this new distributed system and, crypto, on a crypto side. And I took a look at the white paper, and I was more interested in the new way that economics could work in a decentralized fashion. And the game theory behind it, behind a consensus mechanism that enabled a truly trustless system for everybody in the world to participate in. So I thought that was really genius, but never really considered it as a full-time career until 2018, when a few of my Carnegie Mellon alums reached out. So they were building a decentralized exchange on Ethereum, and they were working with consensus. It's called Airswap. It's a decentralized peer-to-peer trading venue. And, I really liked the team and joined them, moved to Asia, moved to Hong Kong to lead Asia extension for them, and really approached crypto from more of a layer 2 protocol, or more of a technology and product point of view, as opposed to, I see a lot of my peers in finance, traditional finance, who moved to crypto, mostly trading Bitcoin or other crypto as an asset class, and didn't really get to know the underlying technology behind it. And I really see DeFi or blockchain as that it really revolutionized finance and technology as we know it. So that was really exciting for me, and really decided to go into it full time. And after spending a year in DeFi world, and that was back in 2018, right? Nothing like what we saw last year in 2020. So the user experience is poor because the underlying tech is still quite nascent, and there's no really liquidity anywhere. So I decided to join Amber, which is a crypto finance company based in Hong Kong. And it's really more of a global platform, being at both the intersection of DeFi and CeFi. So you really get to see a lot more market activity, got to service more clients from there. And I really clicked with the Amber co-founders. We all had really similar backgrounds. Born and raised in China, went to school in the States or the UK. Worked on Wall Street for a few years, and then really just saw crypto for its potential. That's why, and we all pivoted to crypto full time. Yeah.
I love it. And so when you think about Amber Group today, what does the product suite look like, and kind of what are you guys trying to accomplish?
Right. So Amber Group was started in 2017, and it was a bunch of, FX traders, et cetera, on Wall Street. And when we started, it was initially just a sales and trading style desk where we have traders on the desk. Everything we're servicing our institutional clients offline through our traders. And in 2019, that was about almost 3 years of servicing high net worth individuals and institutional clients in the space. And that's when we realized that we really saw the need to digitize and platformize a lot of our offerings, because people are used to, maybe making a trade on a website or on their phone. So that's when we built our first product called Amber Pro, which is a web end portal. And then it offers trading functions as well as some time deposit, so where you can earn on your collateral as well. And in 2020, that's when we launched our second product, the Amber app, which is a mobile app that's easier to use, more designed for people new to the space. That's also when we saw an influx of actually both institutional and retail investors from the traditional space come into crypto on the back of this amazing rally. So yeah, with our product suite, whether the website or our trading desk offline or our Amber app, we really aim to serve a variety of clients. Maybe they're new, or maybe they're more like crypto OG. So whoever they can find something that's relevant for them. And we aim to be the gateway to crypto finance for more people to come to the space. And because we really believe in it, we believe that more users can really capture long-term value from the world of crypto finance.
Absolutely. So you're based now in Asia. Maybe talk a little bit about what is the crypto scene like in Asia? What is kind of different than the United States? What is similar to the United States or North America when you think of those two different geographies?
Yeah, it is quite interesting. So I first got involved in crypto in New York, and then it was it's a very different crowd than what you see here in Hong Kong and the rest of Asia. I would say in New York or in the US in general, I think people are a lot of projects, they're focused more on R&D, building out different techs. We see even with last year, the whole DeFi boom, right? Most of the innovation are coming from the States. And then there are people building different chains out there, different blockchains out there other than Ethereum. Versus in Asia, or I guess in China, first of all, it's very casual business driven. So you see a lot of exchanges based in Asia, a lot of miners, and a lot of trading shops, just because I guess those are the more readily cash flow driven businesses. But one thing I do feel, the biggest difference is just the sentiment and the drive of people. Like I think in the States, just because there are a lot of regulatory constraints and concerns, people sometimes are more hesitant towards driving business forward. But in Asia, I think people are more eager to test things out, to get things going on the ground. So we do see, a lot of early adopters coming from Asia. Maybe the tech came from the States, but I think a lot of people are more eager to participate in the ecosystem from Asia. So that I think it's a great combination. I think. Again, taking DeFi as an example, last year, right, a lot of the liquidity mining programs or yield farming programs, I think it is driven from innovation from the States, but we see a lot of participants from Asia, and that really brought the ecosystem and bot community forward. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see that dynamic.
For sure. And so when you think through in the Asian market specifically, what is the advantage? Is it a certain type of regulatory regime? Is it a certain type of founder? Maybe is it some sort of cultural kind of framework or experience that people have as to why there's certain types of projects and kind of innovations that happen in Asia versus North America? Like, is there any kind of answer to like why is it different?
I think mentality culturally, maybe. I think we see in Asia, I guess in Korea and Japan, it is hard for people to find yield anywhere, especially like I guess in Japan, right? All the yields are negative. And I think people are perhaps more inclined to find yield opportunities and more acceptable to new things. So that's why I think the crypto adoption in Korea and Japan are among the highest in the world. And I think in China, just because we have seen a incredible decade of the boom in internet product itself. So I think a lot of people are leveraging that experience, right, from the Tencent, Alibabas, et cetera, and leveraging that and applying it to crypto to build more products like exchanges or wallets or more crypto finance servicing apps. So I think you do see that. I think first of all, people are more eager to do things, they're more open to accept new things, and I think regulatory constraints definitely play a role. You see with Japan, right? They were really active in crypto, and now with more stringent regulatory requirements in place, I think that activity has since died down a little bit. But I think everybody, obviously in Asia, are still cognizant of the regulatory requirements. But I think they're just more willing to test out new things.
Absolutely. And so when you look at the user base in Asia, it feels like there was a massive advantage in terms of just the digital economy already, right? Whether it was gaming or other pieces to it. Forget crypto for a second, like help people understand like what else is going on in the digital economy in these Asian regions that give people kind of a predisposition to something like crypto and maybe a little bit more trust, a little bit more open-mindedness.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, first of all, I think within Asia and China is leading this whole growth, right? That we skipped the whole desktop phase and went straight to smartphones, went straight to mobile. So everybody here has a mobile phone, smartphone. I don't carry physical cash with me anymore. Everywhere I go, you scan a QR code and you pay and you transfer all digitally. And it's quite interesting actually. When I first returned to Asia, and I didn't even have my Alipay or WeChat Pay set up, and I was trying to just pay my cab, and then he didn't want to accept my cash. He said, I just go, and I felt like, wow, they just really don't. The whole the user behavior here is so different now. Just on the back of the whole smartphone and the internet product development, and that perhaps give people, like you said, right, more disposition into using things that are digital. People buy things online now. Everything is done through mobile apps. Every little thing, and I think payment is perhaps the most different because in the States, people still pay with their credit cards and all that. But here, there's no card, no physical cash. It's all done on the app. And the Chinese government is also pushing out digital currency, right? We call it DCAP. And they have run trials in Shenzhen and now in Beijing, pushing out on a national scale, government scale, that everybody should just use eCNY. So that would be quite interesting to see.
Absolutely. And so when you think through those digital payments, is that actually a hurdle for crypto adoption in terms of what's the difference between spending the digital currency via like an Alipay or something like that? What's the difference between, let's say, the Chinese government's kind of digital central bank currency or crypto? Like those three things, the user experience seems pretty similar. It's actually like this underpinning technology that may be different, and who controls it. Was it centralized, decentralized? So is that like a benefit and a tailwind for crypto adoption, or is that actually a headwind and potentially an obstacle in your opinion?
That's a great question. I think it is a bit of both ways. So first of all, with the central banks of the government pushing out digital currency and digital assets in general, I think that definitely bring people's attention to what digital assets are, what it means. How do I use a wallet? How do I, transact? Because DSAP, the underlying tech, is still blockchain, although it is arguably very, very different from crypto as we know it, just because one is extremely centralized and one is the opposite. So I think it is good in terms of user education to a certain extent. And then I think people are going to start realizing that now, if DSAP truly eliminated cash, then every transaction, everything they do will be recorded somewhere. And, and that might prompt people to think about decentralization or having some sort of privacy, even though the level expectations of privacy in China and the States or rest of the world is perhaps a little different. But I think it will get people to start thinking about what that all means. So I think it is not going to immediate headwind, but we shall see. And I think people here are looking into Bitcoin as more of a alternative asset investment and opportunity for yield as well. So less so on the kind of decentralization aspect yet. But we have seen a lot of family offices and high net worth individuals looking to Bitcoin as either inflation hedge or store of wealth, or just another portfolio diversification to add. And the case for it is so strong that nobody can ignore it. And we've seen just every day there are new institutions coming out saying they're backing Bitcoin, right? Like I think yesterday was BlackRock, and who knows who's going to come out today and tomorrow. So I think that everyone is definitely paying attention to crypto on its own, and then maybe just curious about how digital currency will work.
Yeah. And so when you think through the adopters of this, there's obviously the institutional world and then there's the retail world. I know you guys have a ton of institutional clients. Talk a little bit about kind of what you're hearing from that crowd as we see the prices of the liquid assets go up and many of these businesses do pretty well.
Yeah. I think on the institutional side, most of our clients, they are of the view that they're holding at least Bitcoin for the long run. And given it's a broad bull market, so a lot of people who are investing in DeFi, et cetera, has been benefiting a lot from it this year. So everyone is quite active. So trading Bitcoin and some DeFi coins on top of it. That's what we've seen mostly. And there are new money coming in every day from traditional finance space. So I guess the institutions in the traditional sense, and they're mostly looking to purchase Bitcoin to add to their portfolios. And I think on the retail side, as we've seen, right, there's record signups for Binance and Coinbase, and our own platform has also seen an increase in user signups. I think they're definitely paying attention and looking to get into space as well. I think just the whole market sentiment. First of all, it feels a lot more healthier, like a lot healthier than what transpired in 2017, I would say. But this growth, this rally again is incredible. So we feel really good about this year, and hopefully we will see more people accepting Bitcoin and coming to the space.
Absolutely. What's been the biggest surprise for you over the last, call it year or so, as we saw this public health crisis throughout the globe? We saw governments and elected officials step in with, incredible amount of monetary stimulus. You're literally on the other side of the world. I think I've talked way too much and basically bored the hell out of people here of what's going on in the United States. But how has that been in the last year, and what's been most surprising in Asia?
Well, yeah, it's completely. I don't even know where to start, just seeing where the states, I spent almost a decade in the US, so I felt like it was my second home, and it was just really quite devastating to see it become like this. And whereas I guess where the outbreak started is actually my hometown. So my parents are from Wuhan, and I was almost on my way to go back there for Chinese New Year last year. So again, right, that's also my home base. So I felt like just quite sad to see the world like this last year. But you can see the level of centralized governmental control here in China, and just putting everything in place immediately. Wuhan was shut down from Jan 23rd until April 8th. Everyone stayed at home. For the rest of the metropolitans in China, we all stayed at home for at least a month, I think, and then everybody reacted really fast, and then got the situation under control. And within China, we're basically free to travel. We were free to travel since May last year, pretty much. So it's been normal for us for almost a year now. And then I remember in February and March, a lot of my friends in New York were just like, "Oh, you should come back," which I'm glad I didn't. and then you just compare the level, the policies and procedures that different governments put out. You compare that, and you see where we are now. I don't want to comment further on that, but yeah, it's definitely different world, very different here versus the States.
For sure. When you kind of talk to your friends in the United States, is there anything that really sticks out to you as maybe what crypto investors believe in the Western world that you see as being in direct contrast to what's going on in the East? And not so much what's being built or kind of what's being adopted, but just, are there philosophical differences? Are there kind of mindset differences? Maybe there's even like perspectives of the world in terms of the West believes that, Bitcoin is going to be the successful thing, and the East thinks something else. Like, is there anything that jumps to mind as to what's the contrasting kind of mental frameworks people use in the different regions?
I would think the underlying rationale feels quite universal across the globe. People believe in Bitcoin for as a store of value, as store of value that's better than gold, perhaps, and people, especially the younger generation, likes the idea of a complete new asset class. And so I think that on that level, it is quite universal. But I do think people perhaps approach it from slightly different aspects of it. People in the Western world, they value decentralization more. I actually like to compare decentralization with privacy. It's not a necessity. People don't need it, but for some people, right, it is really important, and they really value it. I think that concept is perhaps a little weaker here in Asia or in China. So I think people still approach it from more of a financial, or yield opportunity, versus in the States, perhaps people really believe more so in its design and its original vision, et cetera. But I do think people are investing in it, be it retail institutions, be it the Western world or Asia. They all have people really are believing in Bitcoin, and I do think that we have found market validation for that narrative.
Absolutely. What's the thing you're most excited about in the crypto industry right now?
Just so much. I think every day you wake up to see a different price level, different, news from more just traditional heavyweights coming into space and kind of and telling you that you were right all this time, right? I think a lot of people did a 180, different banks or different asset managers who really just missed the idea of our innovative new asset class maybe 3 or 4 years ago, right? And it's just really incredible to see that. And I think there's still a really long way to go. And that's what really excites me. Some people ask me, where do you think is going to be the big thing in 5 years? And I really believe it's going to be something that we haven't seen yet today, right? Just the speed of innovation. I don't even know what's going to come out of the space in a month's time, let alone 5 years. I think that's what really drives us to continue to be innovative in this space, to adapt to the newest market trends, to give users what they want, and to really grow with the industry.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, I just ask everyone the same 3 questions. The first is, what is the most important book that you've ever read?
That's a great question. I grew up reading a lot of literature, I guess Chinese ones, and after I learned English ones as well. But I'll throw out a book that I really liked and I've read a couple times. It's called Fortune's Formula. It is about a bunch of mathematicians and people working on information systems, information theories, and then try to game the casino, so to speak, by playing blackjack, counting cards, etc. It's a really fun story, but I think most importantly, it is about trading. It talks about the likes of John Kelly, Kelly criterion. Is it really taught me how to size my bets, either on sports betting or trading in general. And then talks about Ed Thorpe, which is a legend, and who is a mathematician and turned into basically discovered or approved Black-Scholes by himself on equity options pricing, and then started his own hedge fund and made incredible returns over the years. So it's a great story that married mathematicians into the finance world, and there's some like mafia and casino games behind it. So it's a great read, but I also learned a lot from it. So, recommend everybody to take a read.
Nobody's recommended that one before. That's a great suggestion.
Second, probably the math nerd in me who likes that.
I love it. Second question is about sleep. It comes from our friends over at 8 Sleep. They've got a thermoregulated bed that essentially you can make it really hot or really cold. I used to sleep like 6 or 7 hours, or really 5 or 6 hours. And then I started sleeping on it. I sleep on it like it's ice cold, literally, as cold as you can basically make it. And I sleep like a baby now, 8-9 hours a night. I am a full-on convert to the sleep religion. What is your sleep schedule? Wow. Do you use any sort of sleep products or aids or anything?
I think I'm blessed in the way that I just passed out and I need 6 hours of sleep and I'm good to go, kind of. So yay. But I do like code therapy, actually. So another book I was going to mention was called What Doesn't Kill You, Make You Stronger, in a sense. And it's talks about breathing exercise and code therapy that triggers a lot of the revolutionary strength that we had, but lost because we use technology to make our lives so comfortable, right? We cannot endure heat or cold anymore. We're always full. Actually, we have excess like energy intake every day. And that book really walks you through how you can trigger a lot of that strength that better your immune system and get better sleep and just better energy level actually. So I sleep well, perhaps due to the co-therapy or other things, or exercise. But I want to check out that thermal badge. I used to do cryotherapy in New York, but I don't really see that anymore in Asia. But I really liked it as well.
Yeah, 8 Sleep. They are fantastic. I highly, highly. I don't know if they ship to China, but they are fantastic.
All
Third
right.
question is a little bit more fun, and you'll get to ask me one to finish up. Aliens. Are you a believer or a non-believer?
Believer, I guess from a
Why?
statistics point of view, right? There are so many galaxies, planets, stars. It is unlikely that we don't see another, I guess, form of life or aliens, and in that sense. Um, but I'm not sure, like, if actually going back to the book question, there's another book that I would also recommend here. It's called Three Bodies. It's actually written by I'm sure you've read it, right? It's written by a Chinese author, one of the best sci-fi books I've read. And the dark forest theory, it is from a game theory point of view, right? I think if there are aliens, either they're a lower form of like lower intelligence, and we found them, and we're going to annihilate that, or one day someone who's with higher intelligence is going to discover us, then I guess, well, that's the end for us. But I do believe in the dark forest theory. We actually see that within DeFi and in the DeFi gas war. So that's also an interesting detour. But yeah, that's my answer to the question.
I love it. I'm a believer too, so I hear you. You could ask me one question to finish up. What do you got for me?
So many actually. I guess you've been in this space and you've been a Bitcoin believer for one of the biggest advocates we've seen in the space. Just throw one question back at you, right? What excites you the most? What gets you going?
I think that we are all drastically underestimating how important it is that these Wall Street institutions are showing up. And I don't look at it from like I'm cheering on the financialization of Bitcoin specifically, as much as it is the more that these financial institutions say we like Bitcoin, we want to hold Bitcoin, the less likely nation state attacks against Bitcoin will be. And so I think that in some weird way, Wall Street is protecting Bitcoin over time. And so I think that's a really, really, kind of fascinating way to think through the game theory on a global basis. Does this thing survive? And I tend to be an optimist. I tend to agree that Bitcoin will end up kind of ascending to global reserve status over a period of time, which is pretty cool to think about and watch.
Yeah, awesome. I agree.
I figured you did. All right, Annabelle, where can we send people to find you on the internet or find out more about what you guys are building?
Sure, you can find more information about Amber Group and our product suite on ambergroup.io, our website. You can follow us on Twitter at ambergroup_io. You can follow me on Twitter as well at _Annabelle Huang. We're on Medium, we're on Telegram, we're on the website. Email us, drop us a note.
Awesome. Listen, thank you so much for doing this. We'll have to do it together in the future.
Thanks for having me again. It's great chatting with you.